Hashtag the weight of secrets. The champagne flute trembled in my hand as her words hung in the air between us. This stays between us, David. My boss's perfume was sharp in the dimly lit corner of the company party, her eyes never leaving mine as she pressed the manila envelope into my palm. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about quarterly reports or performance reviews. I was thinking about Emma's science project waiting on our kitchen table, about the mortgage payment due next week, about how a single father with no safety net can't afford to make enemies of powerful people. If you've ever felt trapped between doing what's right and doing what's necessary to survive, please hit that like button and subscribe. This story might just help you find your way through your own impossible choice. I never wanted to be noticed at these company functions. For 3 years at Meridian Financial, I'd perfected the art of professional invisibility: show up, make minimal small talk, then disappear before anyone important remembered I existed. It wasn't about being antisocial. It was about priorities. Every minute spent networking was a minute away from Emma, and since losing her mother to cancer when she was 4, I'd promised myself that my daughter would never feel like she came second to my career. That Friday night was supposed to be like any other quarterly celebration. The downtown hotel ballroom sparkled with expensive decorations, open bars at each corner serving top-shelf liquor to increasingly loud colleagues. I'd planned my usual routine: arrive at 7, be seen by 8, home by 9 to relieve Mrs. Patel from next door who watched Emma when I couldn't avoid work events. David. There you are. I turned to find Melissa Chen, our newly appointed CEO, approaching with 2 glasses of something amber. She handed me one before I could decline. I don't think we've ever really talked, she said, her smile professional but warm. 3 years at Meridian and you're still something of a mystery. I shifted uncomfortably. Not much to know, Ms. Chen. I just do my job. Melissa, please. And your job is precisely what I wanted to discuss. She clinked her glass against mine. Your analysis on the Westbrook acquisition was exceptional. You found inconsistencies our entire legal team missed. Just being thorough, I mumbled, though I couldn't help feeling a small flush of pride. I'd spent weeks on that report, working late after Emma went to bed. Thoroughness like yours is rare. Which is why I'd like to offer you a promotion. My heart skipped. A promotion meant better pay, better hours, maybe even the ability to move from our cramped apartment to a house with a yard where Emma could play. But experience had taught me that nothing came without strings. That's unexpected, I managed. Senior Risk Analyst. 20% salary increase, plus bonuses. She watched my reaction carefully. You'd report directly to me. I'm honored, but you're worried about the hours, she finished for me. I know you're a single parent. We can work around your schedule. Flexible hours, work from home when needed. It sounded too good to be true. And in my experience, things that sound too good to be true usually are. Can I think about it? I asked. Of course. Her smile never wavered. But first, there's something else I need to discuss with you. Somewhere private. That's how I found myself in a quiet corner of the hotel's mezzanine, away from the music and laughter, watching Melissa Chen transform from friendly CEO to something altogether more serious. What I'm about to tell you doesn't leave this conversation, she said, her voice dropping. The Westbrook deal is more complicated than anyone knows. She opened the envelope she'd been carrying, showing me documents I immediately recognized as financial statements. But these weren't the ones I'd reviewed. These are the real numbers, she said. The ones the board hasn't seen. My stomach dropped as I scanned the pages. These show Westbrook is nearly insolvent. Our entire analysis was based on falsified data. Yes. Her eyes held mine. And we're going to proceed with the acquisition anyway. The implications hit me like a physical blow. Meridian would be absorbing millions in hidden debt. Shareholders would lose fortunes. People would lose jobs, possibly including mine. That's fraud, I said quietly. It's business, she countered. Westbrook has patents we need. Their R&D division is years ahead of anyone else in the industry. Sometimes the short-term pain is worth the long-term gain. Then why tell the board that? Because they wouldn't understand the vision. She took the papers back, sliding them into the envelope. I need someone I can trust in senior risk. Someone who sees the bigger picture. And if I don't see it that way? Her smile returned, but it didn't reach her eyes. Then I've seriously misjudged you, David. And that would be disappointing. The threat wasn't explicit, but I felt it nonetheless. My promotion, possibly my entire career at Meridian, hinged on my complicity. This stays between us, she said, pressing the envelope into my hand. Review these tonight. We'll talk Monday. As she walked away, leaving me alone with documents that could destroy lives, I felt the weight of more than paper in my hands. I thought about Emma waiting at home, about the life we'd built from the ashes of grief, about how fragile it all suddenly seemed. I had until Monday to decide what kind of man I wanted my daughter to believe I was. Mrs. Patel was dozing on our couch when I got home, the television murmuring softly in the background. She startled awake when I closed the door. Mr. David. You're early. She checked her watch. Everything okay? Fine, I lied, helping her gather her things. How was Emma? Good as gold. Finished her homework and went to bed without complaint. She's growing into such a responsible young lady. I thanked her and pressed an extra 20 into her hand for staying late, though I'd barely been gone 2 hours. After she left, I stood in the hallway of our small apartment, listening to the familiar creaks and hums that had become the soundtrack of our life together. Emma's door was ajar, and I peeked in to find her fast asleep, her science project, a model of the solar system, taking up most of her desk. Pluto hung precariously by fishing line, slightly off-center from the other planets. She'd insisted on including it despite her teacher saying it wasn't technically a planet anymore. It's not fair to leave it out just because someone changed the rules, she'd argued with all the righteous indignation of a 10-year-old. It didn't do anything wrong. Standing in her doorway, Melissa Chen's envelope burning a hole in my jacket pocket, I wondered what Emma would think of the choice I was facing. The rules had definitely changed, but unlike Pluto, I had a say in whether I'd be excluded from the system. I retreated to the kitchen and spread the documents across our small table. The more I reviewed them, the worse it looked. Westbrook had been cooking their books for years, hiding losses, inflating assets. If Meridian acquired them at the agreed price, we'd be taking on a financial black hole. But Melissa wasn't wrong about their patents. Their medical imaging technology was revolutionary, potentially life-saving. Was that worth the deception? Worth risking shareholder money? Worth compromising my integrity? I was still staring at the papers when Emma padded into the kitchen, rubbing sleep from her eyes. Dad? Why are you still up? I quickly gathered the documents. Just some work stuff, Em. Sorry if I woke you. She climbed onto the chair across from me, her hair mussed from sleep. Is it important work? Yeah, I sighed. Pretty important. More important than sleep? She gave me the skeptical look she'd perfected lately, so reminiscent of her mother it made my chest ache. Good point. I should probably get some rest. But she didn't move, instead studying my face with that perceptive gaze that sometimes made me wonder who was raising whom. You look worried, she said finally. Is it about money again? The question hit me like a punch. I'd tried so hard to shield her from our financial struggles, but kids always know more than we think. No, honey. It's not about money. It's... I searched for words a 10-year-old might understand. It's about doing the right thing when it's hard. She nodded solemnly. Like when Jasmine asked me to let her copy my math test, and I said no even though she said she wouldn't be my friend anymore. I smiled despite